Let's talk about China's BRI, that is Belt and Road Initiative. We shall see how much investment it has made in some countries and will also compare BRI with projects started by America and Europe. Through Belt and Road Initiative, China has wisely selected the key areas where it can invest its resources and expertise, like infrastructure development and power generation. This selection is based on two reasons. First, to meet the critical needs of host countries to increase influence in global south, and second, to further facilitate the expansion of Chinese firms into international markets. BRI was launched in 2013, giving it a significant head start and allowing China to establish relationships and agreements with numerous countries. By the time United States felt the need to form a coalition of democracies in response to BRI, more than 100 countries had already signed cooperation agreements with China. It is safe to say since launching the project in 2013, Beijing had outspent Washington and other parts by a margin of 2 to 1, while other initiatives like PGII, that is Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment, and GG, that is Global Gateway, were launched in 2021 and 2022, respectively, and are still in their early stages. Unlike the PGII, where the most funds come from private sources, the BRI is a single country owned infrastructure project with direct funding from Chinese development banks. According to some data collected by Aid Data, Russia is by far the largest recipient of Chinese investment, that is whopping $125 billion, the bulk of which has gone into 33 industrial, mining, and construction projects. China's top global development recipients are Venezuela with $91 billion, Angola $52 billion, Brazil $41 billion, Kazakhstan $42 billion, both Indonesia and Pakistan each $35 billion, Iran $17 billion, and Papua New Guinea $6 billion. China has consolidated its footprints from Africa, Central, South, and Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Oceania to Latin America and the Caribbean. As the US and Europe withdrew from their values to create space for states they historically criticized over human rights violation in the India, Middle East, Europe corridor, that is IMEC, it's perhaps too late to crave the South away from China, given that Beijing has made inroads into the problems of developing world. The Chinese mega global development project BRI has focused and built a vast network of concrete infrastructure projects like roads, ports, railways, power grids, and launched several social infrastructure projects addressing a critical need for developing countries. For example, Chinese companies are spearheading several major projects, building or upgrading basic infrastructure systems such as schools, hospitals, stadiums, water and sanitation facilities, and solid waste management systems, so that China has present itself as a reliable partner to the host countries. In contrast, PGII and GG place more emphasis on climate change and governance, which can be seen as less immediate priorities by some countries. Few projects have been completed within the framework of PGII and GG, characterized as being long on rhetoric but short on action. The desire to build hundreds of special economic zones, improve their connectivity and power infrastructure, create employment opportunities, and promote economic growth has prompted developing countries to associate themselves with the BRI As a result, China had the opportunity to develop lock-in relationship with Asian, African, Latin American, and Caribbean states at the public and government level. For example, Beijing estimated to commission 50 gigawatt of coal-fired power plants in these regions between 2013 and 2020. For developing countries which have been struggling to attract investment in this vital sector, Chinese investment provided them with an opportunity to overcome the energy crisis and end years of blackouts. China's over 25 billion power project, which add over 8,000 megawatt to Pakistan's national grid, are one such example. For a long time, BRI has been playing an important role in providing clean and green electricity to partner countries. China's 720 megawatt crude hydropower project in Pakistan, 750 megawatt Kafu Gaj lower hydropower station in Zambia, and 600 megawatt Chroma hydropower project in Uganda. 1.7 billion kilowatt per hour solar power project in Kazakhstan, and raft of deals with South Africa to overhaul its creaky energy sector underlines why the BRI is set to be the greenest this year. Beijing's approval to add more than 50 gigawatt of coal-fired power in the first half of 2023 has drawn criticism. But China's power generation is not entirely based on fossil fuel energy production, as its renewable power generation is also growing at an amazing pace. This trend has been endorsed by researchers, including Bloomberg NEF, that expect China's clean power installations to record 154 gigawatt of solar and more than 64 gigawatt of onshore and offshore wind in 2023, beating its own target of doubling solar and wind power to 1200 gigawatt by 2025. The United Nations recently warned that widening digital divide between the developing and developed world, along with the sharp decline in internet usage in developing countries, could threaten to exclude the world's poorest from their next industrial revolution. Aligning their countries with G77 and China, representatives of several dozens of countries expressed concerns about the challenge and the need of urgently closing the gap. China as cyber superpower is building and upgrading one of the most critical infrastructures, submarine cable networks in the Middle East and North Africa through the BRI technical arm, the Digital Silk Road. The piece, Pakistan and East Africa connecting Europe, fiber optic cable, in 2022 connected the cities of Karachi in Pakistan to Marseille in France. China is believed to have already launched or is currently rolling out such networks in 76 countries. China offers a range of financing options, including loans, grants, and public-private partnerships. This flexibility allows countries to choose the most suitable option for their needs, compared to the more stringent requirement of some Western-led initiatives. BRI generally avoid imposing political conditions on recipient countries, unlike some Western initiatives that may promote democratic values or human rights. This makes BRI more attractive to countries with different political systems. China has a proven track record of delivering large-scale infrastructure projects efficiently. This experience gives potential partnership confidence in the feasibility of PRI projects. PGII and GG face challenges due to complex bureaucratic structures, concerns about debt sustainability, and a focus on climate change. That may not be the top priority for all developing countries. IMEC is still in its early stages and faces challenges in terms of alignment between different countries' priorities. However, it is important to note that PRI also faces criticism for its lack of transparency, concerns about debt burden, and environmental impacts. Additionally, some countries have expressed concerns about China's influence and potential for debt traps. China has demonstrated its value in South by spending only one-eighth of what the US has spent on wars against terrorism over the past 20 years, against the Western-led initiatives striving to establish their merit. The Chinese narrative of BRI as a centerpiece of global development seems to be winning. In the long run, the success of these initiatives will depend on their ability to address the specific needs of developing countries while ensuring sustainable development and avoiding geopolitical pitfalls. That's all for BRI till now. Thank you very much.